Mayor and Deputy Mayor, of the remaining obligations and assets of the municipality, is the Phoenix Center the biggest albatross, or are there bigger albatrosses around our neck, very broadly?
Yeah. I mean, I would say the Phoenix Center is in a class of its own when it comes to that category, which is, you know, I know that there have been people who have spoken of it as an asset, and there are aspects to that structure that are assets if you look at some portion of the structure as a whole. But overall, I would say that the structure as a whole is clearly a liability.
Wise men once said, wild wings are deaf to the call.
Order!
Other name is a scandal caution.
Built in the 1980s, the Phoenix Center was the gateway to Pontiac. It's a parking lot, a concert venue, and the owners of the two Ottawa towers have legal rights to a safe parking lot maintained by the city.
Cautions issued, he stood shooting the messengers. They tried to warn him about her. Cross your thoughtless heart, only liquor anoints you. She's the albatross, she is here to destroy you.
Good deal, know where the Phoenix Center is. How many know where the Big Ten downtown is? Everybody knows where the Big Ten downtown is.
Hidden River Park has now become a Kaboom grant nominee, or regardless, they're going to be getting some money for it. And it's hard to say that a park for kids isn't a good idea. I mean, come on, I have kids. But however, I do not want my kids playing anywhere near that park.
Hidden River Park has been the source of a lot of projects going on. In fact, the neighborhood empowerment projects, we got quite a bit of money over the last 2 years to do that. And Jim and Monica happen to know a lot about it because they actually brought the idea to us and we're partners in the grant.
The park needs some trees for shade because it's really hot, but they still should have a water fountain.
Wise men once said, one bad seed kills the garden, one less temptress, one less dagger to sharpen. Locked me up in towers, but I'd visit in your dreams, and they tried to warn you about me. Cross your thoughtless heart, only liquor anoints you. She's the albatross, she is here to destroy you.
Digital learning is helping with that as well.
I'm Blair McGowan. We run the Crowfoot Ballroom. We run this space. So the work we do here in Pontiac is we're very pleased when there's people that want to do something. But I feel that Pontiac is very much the way it was in 1988 when we came here. It's backwater. There's a lack of leadership. There isn't the kinds of things like Maddie's story about swimming and people working together. And I'm very much attracted to the ideas that Jim Ross and Monica Williams are talking about, and that is trying to figure out a way to make people connect better, to think smarter, to capture ideas, to bring multiple people together in unique ways so we can take advantage of each other's thoughts and each other's energy and give us enough hope and faith that we'll swim together. Because most people are so disheartened and so depressed that they won't have the faith that by swimming together they can make a difference.
Well, once upon a time there was a school of fish. They were red fish, all except for one. He was black and he was the fastest swimmer of them all. Well, one day a big tuna fish came along, very hungry, and the tuna fish decided to eat up all swimmers. The whole school of fish. But swimming didn't get eaten up.
Minutes approved brings us to public comment. Mr. Clerk, please set your clock.
first public comment is from Monica Williams. Dear Council, Mayor, and community members, seller beware. The Grift scam or confidence game. The word grifter is the noun form of the word grift, which means obtaining money or property illicitly as in a confidence game. The simplest way to describe a grifter is a con artist. Con artists are often so good that you never see them coming or realize you are a target of a loan con. Examples of these deceptions could be lying, cheating, having funds diverted to various accounts, or other bait and switch scenarios and shenanigans. And to deceive, the confidence game or con game is when a grifter gains the confidence of their victim and then swindles them out of money and or valuable property and assets. In a grift, grifters often use positions of legitimacy to get the job done. The phrase grift, greed, and corruption is often assigned to corrupt politicians caught in grift. Grifting, scamming, and swindling are all forms of fraud. You can spot a grifter if you carefully consider their actions. The grifter may attempt to pressure you into taking action again after a stall, which does not give one enough time to fully consider the offer or discuss it with others that you trust. It's from Monica Williams, Pontiac, LULLABY.
An Oakland County businessman is under fire over an email peppered with racist remarks about Pontiac. People who want him to answer for it took their concerns to City Council tonight. 7 Action News reporter Alex Bozarjian tells us what they're saying and how he's responding.
Those that are standing came out to make it absolutely clear that racism has no place in this city. Residents are denouncing local businessman Bob Wan after he sent out a racist email to his partners and some people in the mayor's administration using explicit language to describe residents, and at one point comparing them to Afghans under Taliban rule.
Pontiac is not Afghanistan. The people here are not the Taliban. We're a proud community, right? We work hard in this community.
Wan was recently awarded a lease to the city-owned Phoenix Center parking structure in downtown. Nearby is a bus stop that serves as a transportation hub for thousands of residents. Wan wanted to remove it.
In a diverse community such as this, one person's economic development is another person's gentrification. So it's the part of the people who are planning, who are thinking about the best of the community needs, as well as community growth, who make sure that they're looking at both sides of that.
Some residents criticizing the mayor for not taking a more passionate stance like her other council members.
This person is living here and financially he's making money off of this city that he wants to degrade. Take your ass back down to Birmingham.
Some residents are calling on the city to strip Wan of his investments, but the mayor says she can't divest anyone who owns private property, and ultimately that would hurt residents more than it would help. Reporting for 7 Action News, I'm Alex Bozarjian.
Let me just say this. I know, Tom Kimball, you have a question. If you can be a little bit more specific in the chat room, as it relates to set-aside investment capital.
Mark, one of the issues is the citizens of the city want to do some great things downtown, but they don't have the investment capital from the banks. They don't give them the capital. So is there any possibility, Bob, for Durban Capital to do a set-aside of potential venture capital for the citizens of Pontiac to easily get access to those funds so that they can also have a financial stake in downtown?
Tom, as much as I think it's a good idea, we've bitten off a pretty big chew here. These buildings.
Just a little bit more, Bob. Just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Bob, let me jump in on that. The Dearborn Capital, just a quick, I know we're up against time, Mark, but they're a real estate investment equity firm with local ties, and even though they're out of Chicago, maybe we'll get them to move back here, Bob, at some point. But they work with another firm that they're related and aligned to called T2 Equity. That has put more than $800 million into the economy over the last 12 years. They have a social equity fund, and the mayor, very creatively, I don't want to tell who she's been talking to, but she has been talking to some other partners within the region about, now that this has come out from underneath all of the the litigation and the threats of mediation and what's Judge Rosen going to do, and we've got this global settlement, it really has opened up a very good conversation around other entities within the region that are now saying, Madam Mayor, what about us? Maybe we could come in and do something. And as you know, there's a lot of capital funds within financial institution and others that they're looking for places to place those funds. And so you're scratching a very, very timely, but pretty good scratch off ticket right now, Tom, that we're looking at that. But I'd love to talk with you more about that offline.
Yeah, Mark, the vision for this is so much grander than just this one public-private partnership. This is going to be the stimulus for a lot of other things. So, this has come together so quickly that, as I said, sometimes these deals take months to negotiate. We've done this essentially in 1 month. All right, so a lot of the due diligence is going on right now that would have been done before then because of the fact we were looking at a default of the city November the 1st. So we're really just a few days averting that default. So I'm just breathing a sigh of relief from that as we're quickly running to close this deal.
Devils that you know, raise worse hell than a stranger. She's the death you chose. You're in terrible danger.
I'm concerned because we've been downtown since 1988. We operate a ghost town. There's not foot traffic.
That sky rains fire on you, and your persona non grata. I'll tell you how I've been there too, and that none of it matters.
Blair has been a big promoter of Pontiac. He has brought a lot of people. He has been one of the businesses that have survived downtown amongst the parking issues and all the other issues that are down there, being held with the dispensaries. And it's like a foot on their windpipe down there. He is a family business. He is trying to make money for his family. And we need to learn to work with people so that we can make progress. Thank you.
Thank you. Who works hard to restore the city services, repair the past struggles of our city, and help us make further strong financial decisions. It hasn't been mentioned yet, but I just want to make a plug that State Senator Moss and State Representative Carter also secured $5 million, a lot of moolah, for the city of Pontiac to resolve debt service tied to past frustrating deals regarding this bad boy, the Phoenix Center that has stood in our downtown for over 4 decades.
Wise men once read fake news and they believed it. Jackals raised their hackles. You couldn't conceive it. You were sleeping soundly when they dragged you from your bed, and I tried to warn you about them. So I crossed my thoughtless heart, spread my wings like a parachute. I'm the albatross. I swept in at the rescue. The devil that you know looks now more like an angel. I'm the life you chose, and all this terrible danger.
Yes, we have a certain opportunity, and we understand from a downtown perspective where the building's going to go. But see it bigger than that. He said, this is important that we do this in partnership. And that's why we put the community engagement RFP out. It's important for us to get the input from the community. It's important for us to hear what their thinking and concerns are as well. And it's important that we make sure that we're doing this with Pontiac, not to Pontiac.
These
Awesome.
two people, Jonathan Damiana, I could talk to forever. If you notice, Monica, go back to the display you had a minute ago where you were putting sticky notes up.
Okay.
I just want to show Jonathan Damiana just one thing I noticed to let you know about these two individuals. See that picture up in the upper left-hand corner? It's over there. We're surrounded by, once again, sticky notes. Okay.
That's right.
Where we were, what year was that when we took that picture, Monica?
2014.
2014.
And the woman that's on the right, the left of Jim is Superintendent Kelly Williams.
Right. We had the makings. And look what it turned into.
Yeah, look what you delivered.
Look what you delivered. You brought $50 million to the party.
Now we just have to fight the fight on the local level to make sure it's inclusive. But we got this.
Well, we're getting there because without the help of the local level, we wouldn't have been able to get what we are. And the ramifications of bringing that $50 million to downtown Pontiac will matriculate throughout the whole entire community, whether it's embellishing the starving businesses on Saginaw Street or going right out into the community where that opportunity to have jobs, the opportunity to have training or whatever will begin to grow Pontiac. And it's a model that can be utilized across the state.
You have to be attracting young people, and Michigan as a whole has not done a very good job of that. And the governor has acknowledged that. She has a growing Michigan task force, which I totally support. We have to figure out a way how to keep our young people. And to do that, well, they want different things than we used to want when we were younger. They want walkable communities. They want transit, and I'm a huge transit advocate. They want walkable urban experiences, and that's why we're investing in downtown Pontiac, which I think can be Oakland County's urban experience. So they want different things, and so you have to listen to young people.
We use the Innovation District's framework to sort of revalue the infrastructure, and what you're looking at is this is a 6.5 acre public plaza, rooftop plaza on a 2,700 space parking deck, and connected to 2 office towers, open office towers, and the viewpoint is from our regional Amtrak transportation station. So the effort was to demolish this middle structure and to allow 25,000 cars to stream through our tiny little walkable downtown.
Yeah, I mean, when I talked about the stars aligning, that is another star that's aligning. We are finally going to fix the mistake of having people drive around downtown Pontiac instead of through it. I'm going to look at either the mayor or the deputy mayor to talk, because you've been in more contact with MDOT than I, so you want to just address that.
Yeah, it's a really important point that you're raising, and while they're 2 distinct projects, they certainly go hand in hand. At least creates the possibility of reopening Saginaw Street in our downtown. It could allow for demolishing the existing Phoenix Center. We'd have to build a replacement parking deck to allow for that.
So cross your thoughtless heart. If she's the albatross, she is here to destroy you.
First public comment is from Monica Williams. Dear Council, Mayor and community members, seller beware, the Grift scam or confidence game.
Jim, I want to turn it over to you. I see you've got a great question in the chat. Why don't you, if we can, unmute you?
Thank you. I was just wondering, learning is an interesting way to go about things. And I'm wondering if we can learn things from our past successes. And I'm thinking around the 80s and the 90s and a bit after 2000 before the recession. Any thoughts going forward on how we bring those kind of opportunities back into being in terms of the tech sector, and more importantly, how that reflects on the work from home and learn from home process?
Yeah, Sophie, it's a great question. And so this network effect, this ecosystem, the last mile, so that you can connect into socially and economically disadvantaged individuals or very small firms, is going to be fundamental. It doesn't exist everywhere in the United States. So we're going to have to quickly, rapidly set up these kind of networks, using what we have. So I think that's the promise of this moment. It's going to catalyze some remarkable innovation. Capital is not the problem. It's how we organize to basically have it, achieve the biggest outcome.
Here. How do we best connect to the citizenry that for the most part, I think in this particular moment is the most important part, as you point out. How do we inform that baseline citizenry, which has never experienced anything like this, and yet is the focal point of this funding?
Well, I think we're going to have to go to where they are. I mean, I do think in the health sector, what's remarkable about the last year, whether it was around testing or whether it was around vaccinations or whether it was around general health disparities, hospitals, care providers got out of their fortresses and went into communities. I mean, Detroit, the Phoenix Project has had this, mobile sort of labs moving around the city. Go to where the people are, go to where the entrepreneurs are. And I think that's really the promise of this moment. And I do think it's going to require a different kind of mindset, of a lot of our service programs where folks sit back and wait for the demand. We're going to have to go find the demand.
The citizens are the experts now.
Yeah.
And we have to find a ways to raise their voice.
This structure here in the middle used to be a beautiful fountain that flowed. And we did maintenance to keep it going. As you see now, they have a weeping cherry here.
But we think it has a good chance to be downtown. And I think maybe we've always talked about it at the Phoenix Center and so forth and so on. That might be a timely transitional point to engage, and we've had some additional conversations regarding the library annex, technology that's in the buildings in Ottawa Towers.
That concludes that. We're on to our next special presentation from Oakland County Downtown Redevelopment Project Status Update. We have Deputy County Executive Sean Carlson and team here. So without further ado, we'll give you the floor.
All right, thank you, President McGinnis. Appreciate the time and the effort here today. And I just want to make sure I got a clicker here, and I do. And I want to make sure that Deputy County is, as the Deputy County Executive, that Oakland County is continuing to stay in front of you and make sure that we're giving you status updates. And so that's what I will attempt to do here tonight. So we'll take you through this. I want to just kind of share with you everything that's going on. I think it's important to continue to share because I know that there's folks out there that think, hey, is this ever going to really happen? And I just want to let you know that Oakland County is definitely leaning in, and we appreciate the citizens of Pontiac and the City Council and the Mayor's Office and all those that are leaning back and leaning in as well. Oakland County, this is our team here. Megan and I are usually the ones that you'll see in front of us, but this is our team that's leading on the downtown project. Our owner's rep, which is the group that is our fiduciary for Oakland County. This is our team that is supporting this project. You can see them. So we awarded that contract last January, February timeframe. The architect and engineer and urban planning team, HED, and this is the team. We awarded this contract last March, April timeframe. Our community engagement, some of you here that I've recognized have been at some of our community engagement, Sidewalk Detroit and AECOM. We've done some activities and certainly outreach in the Pontiac area so far. Our construction management firm, we hired Granger, had very competitive bidding process. Granger ended up being on top. And then I'll get into the other one that's not mentioned here is Adamo, who we recently awarded the demolition project to. I'll get into that in a few slides. And then we are in negotiations with the developer. And I think if anybody saw the Cranes article last week, you can see some of the renderings that they had posted in that article. So we are working with what their team is called is Pontiac Forward. That is the Bogie Group, and Wallbridge is who we're negotiating with. This city council supported and adopted the MOA, the Memorandum of Agreement, that was between the county and the city council here and the mayor. You can see the bullet points there on the bottom is really making sure that we're having a discussion and that we continue to keep it in front of us, this group, in regards to the demolition of the Phoenix Center parking structure, the construction and replacement of a parking structure, the reconstruction of Saginaw Street and Auburn and Orchard Lake Road, the transfer of 500 county employees, 2 acres of open space that will be conveyed to the city, back to the city, and compliance, making sure that we're compliant with all city ordinance and that we have a campus plan. So that is what the MOA said. This group has been meeting. We've met twice so far, and we will continue to meet. So we have community members and county members that sit on that group. The demolition of the Phoenix Center. So the Phoenix Center demolition bid was awarded to Adamo. The demo phases and timeline and road closures, proposed road closures, are shown on the next slide. We're going to make sure that we've got a safety plan. The entire structure will be enclosed with silt fencing, allowing access to demolition firm only. A full safety plan will be established prior to any demolition starting. And this safety plan will be coordinated with the City of Pontiac residents, Sheriff's Office, and all key stakeholders. There will be a communication plan. The county is working on this plan that will be shared with the City of Pontiac residents, visitors, businesses, and occupants of 51111. That is an active building. That is a building structure that we own at this time. And we have mostly state of Michigan employees that are in that building. This is a proposed demo phases and timeline and road closures. You can see in phase 1 the soil erosion and sedimentation control plan. I'm going to pop down to the traffic maintenance plan, right-of-way permit submission, fencing plan. All of these things we're sitting down with Pontiac leaders, I believe tomorrow. Actually, is our team will be sitting down to make sure that we get the proper approvals with the City of Pontiac. We will not be moving forward until all these things are approved. You'll also notice I skipped the second bullet there for a second, this sustainability evaluation. Oakland County is really leaning in on sustainability and from an environmental perspective, and we'll be asking Adamo to make sure that we are looking at not only the reuse of the concrete and the rebar that is part of this structure, but also we'll be looking at the building structure that's on the top to see if any of that can be reutilized and reused as well. So we'll be doing that evaluation. I've heard that in regards to community members at the community dinner at the city council, and it was our promise to make sure that we were doing that as well. Phase 2, phase 1 is underway right now. Phase 2 is the proposed demo to begin on the south side. So when we say south side, we're talking about the cut would be Orchard Lake and Auburn. So the proposal at this time is to begin on the south side. Road closures are identified by the green highlighted areas there that you can see. And then also phase 2 will start in January of 2025. That is the proposal at this point in time. Of course, all the things that I mentioned in phase one need to be approved by the city of Pontiac before we can move on to phase two. Phase three is a proposed demo begin on the north side, road closures identified by the turquoise and green highlighted areas as well. Phase three will start in March of 2025. The completion of the demolition is proposed to be scheduled to finish in August of 2025. So that is the information on the demo site here. The temporary parking plan, Oakland County is working with the city and the owners of the vacant former IRS building, which you can see the green arrow is pointing to that. The red mark right there is a former IRS building. So we're working with the owners of that lot to create some temporary parking for the 51-111 vehicles. We also will be asking to the city if we can get some temporary diagonal parking on Judson. Judson is 4 lanes right now, 2 going east and 2 coming west, and see if we can't use one of those lanes for temporary diagonal parking to make sure that we're accommodating those that are utilizing 51-111 as well as those that work in that facility. Shuttle services are also being evaluated. This is not comprehensive of all the phases in this, but I am going to share with where we're at right now. Demolition of the Phoenix Center, January 2025. As I mentioned, our target completion date is August. Construction of a new parking structure, August of 2025. So as we complete the demo, it is in the developer's package that will be done in 12 months. You can see August of 2026 is when we're looking for the completion of the new parking structure. Renovations at 31 East Judson. 31 East Judson is Ottawa Tower 2. That is the tower in which Oakland County will be moving 700 employees. I know you saw 500 employees. We've worked that number up to 700 employees to the 31 East Judson. And then Oakland County employees relocation to begin somewhere in April of 27 through August of 27. So that is where the proposed project timeline is now, and we will continue to update this. There's a lot of other moving parts, but we want to get in front of you with this. We've had community dinner. We've had things in the park. Our community engagement recently had a move and talk as well, where we invited residents from the community. I know that City Council member James was there. I had a nice conversation. She was on the walk and talk, or move and talk, and then I know the mayor was there as well, so we appreciate the attendance by city leaders there as well. So this gave us an opportunity to get some feedback and then kind of get a ground eye level of the different opportunities that exist. And you can see up in that top left corner, we had different groups take the walk along that path there. Some of the preliminary data results that we're getting in regards to feedback has been put into kind of 5 different buckets by Sidewalk Detroit relating to the commercial development that prioritizes restaurants, retail, and entertainment opportunities that are affordable and inclusive. Economic and workforce development that provides direct support, education, and resources to local businesses, entrepreneurs, and workers. Accessible housing developments that promote neighborhood safety and meet the needs of the disability community, elders, youth, and people experiencing homelessness. Public transportation and mobility offerings that are accessible, reliable, allow residents to navigate Pontiac and the surrounding area by foot, bike, car, or bus. And then inclusive natural spaces that reintroduce native plants and invite residents to gather and enjoy nature. So these are some of the feedback that we're getting from residents to our community engagement team. As I mentioned, the departments that was asked by city council members in the past who's moving down here, so you can see all the different departments that we're moving down: neighborhood and housing development, equalization, the county executive's office, risk management, public communications, management, budget, purchasing, human resources, economic development, workforce development. Some members of the IT, we have a major IT operation, so we have some members coming down from IT. Health, Veteran Services, MSU Extension, the Board of Commissioners, Corp Council, and Community Corrections. So we'll have over, like I said, 700 county employees, 17 different departments. We'll benefit from a variety of programs and public services, including all the ones mentioned there. So we're excited about that. Also, I wanted to give you an update. Granger is the construction management firm that will be doing the renovation in 31 East Judson. So we'll be renovating all of those floors, the 8 different floors. They were awarded this contract, and master planning for the Judson block is underway. We are looking at adding an additional space. One of the responsibilities of Oakland County is to be a convener. We have a big space in our executive office building right now that convenes a lot of different groups. The building, the way it's currently constructed, does not allow for that, so we'll be looking for an add-on to the 31 Judson building. Also, we've talked to Granger. We will be having trade fairs. Granger is planning its first trade fair, tentatively scheduled for the January-February timeframe. We'll also be planning in March, April, and July. This is an opportunity for us to really make sure that we're talking to businesses that are located in Pontiac and making sure that they are connected to the bid process that will take place with Granger. We also want to make sure that we are talking to the community and folks that are looking for jobs and skills and giving them an opportunity. So this isn't just a trade fair for those that have businesses. It's also for those that are looking for construction work. So that's what's going on with Granger. There's a lot more going on, but I wanted to give you what I thought was kind of the essence of what's taking place right now, and so we're really starting to move. We've got the team. The last piece of the puzzle here is the developer contract, and really appreciate the support. I know that we had a few people from the mayor's office that was part of the evaluation committee. I also want to recognize Carlson, who was also on that evaluation committee, and some other members from the Pontiac community as well. So it's important that this continue to be a partnership with the county. So thank you so much for allowing me some time, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, let's do it. Thank you again for coming yet again to give an update to the community and the council, because it's such a substantial and positive development for our community. We want to make sure everyone knows the moving parts, especially since it might impact a lot of your commutes in just a short period of time. Pro Tem Carrington and then Councilman Rutherford.
Yes, thank you, President McGinnis. First and foremost, I definitely thank you for the presentation and bringing the community up to date. And also that you highlighted trade fairs, so give small businesses in the city of Pontiac the opportunity to be part of the bidding process. And I just want to ask, once you get those dates, could you please email those dates to the city council so we can get it out through our communications department?
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. Councilman Rutherford.
Hey, Sean.
Hi.
2 questions. Number one, you mentioned about 7 minutes into your presentation that you guys are meeting with Pontiac community leaders. Who are those leaders, and where can we get that list?
So the folks that are at the table, I represent County Executive Dave Coulter on that MOA, and then Dave Woodward is on there, as well as your President McGinnis, City Council President, as well as the Mayor. And then we have a few at-large members as well from the City of Pontiac.
And who are those people?
They haven't been in attendance yet. We're reaching out to them, but Reverend Cogwell is one of them. And I'm drawing a blank on the other gentleman's name, Sean Preston.
And so I guess my follow-up would be to the administration. how many people from actually that live in that district or in that area were included in the choosing of the people you chose? Because from my understanding, from what you and from what Dave Woodward said, is that you were going to include people from that district and others. And so I'm just trying to figure out when did you guys, I know you didn't decide, so I'm asking the administration, when did you guys decide on the list of the people you would have as community liaisons for that district and for that community as a whole? I yield to Mayor Grima for an answer.
Well, the only name that I suggested was Sean Preston's name, and I believe he does live in District 1. He lives right close to the border of District 1 and District 7, but I think he's in District 1. The Reverend's name did not come from me, and so I would ask the Deputy County Executive about Reverend Cognitt.
Yes, we asked for some at-large members from the Committee of 50, Pastor Jones, and he provided a list of some names for us.
But the redevelopment team is open to more. There's been just 2 initial conversations, and
That's
they have
correct.
stated that they're up for more names.
Yes. We got to get the process going, but we're happy to have other people at the table.
Further discussion or questions on this special presentation? Okay, thank you very much for your time. I hope you have a great rest of the night.